Good afternoon and welcome to Suva in Fiji, where we have this panel discussion this afternoon on the occasion of the 45th anniversary of Vanuatu regaining her independence. Welcome to the studio or the live audience here at the Laucala Bay campus of the University of the South Pacific. Welcome also those of you joining us online from Vanuatu and around the world. We have a panel of eminent Ni Vanuatu with us this afternoon, and also we hope to engage with the students of Vanuatu here at the University of the South Pacific. We acknowledge the people of the Bononondonumai, to the Turangatui Suva, on whose land we sit this afternoon to have this discussion. 45 years since Vanuatu regained her independence from Britain and France. We use the word regain because it is our belief that Vanuatu was independent before the arrival of people from outside of this country. Samoa regained independence in 1962, West Papua in 1963, Nauru in 1968. Yet despite regaining independence, do we remain colonized in our minds? And that's where we go today for the first question to Charles Sumbe, journalist, 15 years or more experience, and president of the Media Association of Vanuatu. 45 years, Charles. How far have we come?
Thank you. Good afternoon, moderator. Good afternoon, all man-blessed law room today. From Mr. Blow, week Blow love it, all man, all family, million New Zealand, Australia, I think only celebrate today, so we might as well tell them happy 45 independence anniversary, you may from beautiful country, blame you Vanuatu. To answer your question, moderator, 45 years, supposed to be put low life blow one human being, hemi one adult, whereby me savetalem say, hemi make a more thing, hem one finish. Hemi been go through low planted something, finish low life. Hemi been experience and planted something, and hemi no more stop too low roof, blow papa, mama, blehem. And even hemi go as far as hemi start praise him up, own beginning, own family, blehem, para can finish. Ikam li yumi lo Vanuatu, pa yumi savetalem say 45 years, lo look, li yumi lo, since independence, me come custom law today, you must celebrate them 45 years of independence. We've come a long way, from the most say, you me one small island country where you me diverse too much. And also blow atom up diverse here, you make cut all different something where hemi come in, blow hemi contribute law. You may have finish all languages, you may fly pin talk about earlier on. You may have two all provinces, me all island, me all custom, you may political parties, you may all churches, you may. And then you may think about two say two language where you may stop continue blow school lahem. All beginning you stop call lahem. Hemi two also moderator said. Hemi sound something where you may have talem say hemi make him say you may have talem say 45 years me lo Vanuatu. Personal thinking me we've come a long way. And that hemia, you may be in trial amount, you may be in start off also one something where hemi new, you may adopt them one system of governance, you may we might hemi no really sema call sem hemia you may lo island you may be come so far, land and plant something, putum some bleed up you may lo calapus, you may pattern them all get up again, you may go through the election, call us up every year, you may cut call us up 28, 29 prime minister. Al head of state no muna, thing is ikat summit, but you may cut all issues where you may cut all leaders where only pin make them some decision, planted decision where you could help them you may some decision you may look in country face and consequences plan. Planteman only run well all place blow kata blow come study, blow pack, while some only run well blow come make them life Australia or New Zealand. You be looking planted something and on top blow hemia, climate change, disaster. you me too, you me been go through a lot, huh? And suppose you me have a recall back, Colosap last 5 to 10 years, yeah, you me stop no more recovery mode until today. Villa you me too, no more same before. Town you me too, no more same before. You may still stop at low recovery stage. So, moderator, to answer your question, for 45 years to be mature yet, yeah, I'd say we've come a long way. We've learned a lot, like I said, but there's still a lot to work on and to improve on, and also blow move forward. And I'm also. Me like and tell them thank you that we're having this conversation, because some of these people will help this, and also getting what we will be talking about today. And also once they're back home, offices, work, but this have a help drive him to achieve him. Yes, you may still depend all get a foreign advisors, all different corner blue email of Vanuatu. You may still depend too low. Sami work, Sami no work, you may still depend too low. You may think from only help them, you may also mana, you may must respect them all get out, follow them, want them all tell them too, and me want something where you stop too low country play you me. Moderator, I think I'll stop here, but yes, that it would be my answer to your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Irandra Brown is the High Commissioner of Vanuatu to Fiji. As Charles says, 45 years, 28 prime ministers. People from outside Vanuatu look at it either as a country which is practicing democracy to the fullest, or a country which is held back by the democracy that it practices. 45 years in democracy.
Good afternoon, Bulawinaka, everyone, and thank you, Nathani, for question. Conversation blow you me lo this afternoon, and me tell them thank you so much for presence blow if I run lo audience and lista watching you me live. But lo answer them question blow you moderator. I think by you me look back previous speaker blow you me tell them finish. Okay, and for me take them also me one journey, and lo journey blow you me as a nation. And as a people of the nation, me want them say Chania, me want them blow reiterate them say you me Chania, me blow you me together. But I think place where me sit down lehem right now, me also want demonstration block country where me been come far away. After 43 years, Vanuatu me nominate them first female High Commissioner outside Vanuatu. And Hemi won first, but there's been so many first lo side lo got a woman where only holem leadership role too. But me want them take him also and me want them first time lo acknowledge him. Or get the people where all get I contribute lo struggle lo independence lo Vanuatu lo Yumi as a nation pretty much before full up lo Yumi born. And some lo get Yumi been lusum all get lo this year lo 2025. Me want them acknowledge him, Mr. Malone, where me first person where me design him flag love Vanuatu. And also Madam Hildeline, where me joined law fight for independence, but a very prominent figure inside the region, Vanuatu, as one of Vanuatu's first female ministers. But this journey has not been also me one person, me as a nation. Me will like grow, you me grow together. It got full of challenges, me come. Lo yumi, but challenge lo side lo political instability lo yumi, but challenge lo side lo natural disasters. Also, where Charles Hemi been mentioning lo side lo climate change. Hemi part lo story and part lo way where he build him up Vanuatu. Kasem today you start lo 45 years lo independence, but Jenny Hemi one time lo reflection back again. You all same time you may stop climb one mountain. It had some place la mountain where me sight where you use a stop and use a pause. So Jenny bla Vanuatu now. Me all part where me pause la me sabe look back. Blow you me look back and me plus sabe how you me start chat forward. Me personal reflection blow me say as a country you me come long way. You me come long way. But then, suppose you look, lo Jenny blow you me tell them say yes, it got all get challenges where me happen. something where me proud of us him as one daughter blo Vanuatu hemi. Got one such time where one serious civil unrest hemi kira blo Vanuatu. Despite so many challenges, and me talem hemi because peace hemi want something where hemi always prevail on Vanuatu. And hemi no come on its own. Hemi come from where yumi olman Vanuatu, yumi got the respect. Where culturally yumi hemi teach him yumi, and kind fasinol semia where country hemi holem tight. Hemi one value where yumi must holem tight all time. So after 45 years meetings hemi, but yes yumi look all challenges. Hemi easy blow yumi look all challenge no more. But the fact that Yumi remain united as a nation, hemi one big fella achievement, moderator. Me want them talk about all something where Cheni blow Yumi hemi take Yumi through him. Me acknowledge him to say he got full up. For me as the first female High Commissioner, law all get missions blow Yumi, la diplomatic missions, but also has been first female magistrate, has been first female, and this is part of the journey blow Vanuatu. Or engineers, or maybe captain, or director generals inside law government machineries, one way you make up today. And all of this hemi contribution blow Vanuatu as a nation. But beneath that, hemi stamable hemi respect where Vanuatu hemi give him. Law all people, law all teaching, where you start law home, law all chief, law governance system, law yumi, where hemi been holem tight yumi as a nation for this long, and for that, me extremely proud of the way where you may come this far. Yes, it got room for improvement yet, but hemi historian or dog story where you me as a nation, you me as all get a young fella whereby you me come future leaders, hemi walk where you me shape him. Next walk about the you me way stop come. Thank you to Mas Moderator.
Thank you, High Commissioner. Cheryl Iana is the former Director General in the Prime Minister's office in Vanuatu. 45 years, the High Commissioner has spoken about the need, when on a journey, to sometimes pause and look back before looking forward. It's part of Pacific navigation, is to be conscious of our past, but also look forward. So after taking this look back, and now looking towards the future, what does the next 45 years hold for Vanuatu?
All right. Good afternoon, Lo Yumi, everyone. And firstly, I would like to acknowledge balance of power. Vanuatu High Commission in Fiji, VBTC and Fiji Broadcasting Corporation, and the moderator for having this panel this afternoon. Firstly, this is a demonstration of a partnership that we have traveled this road. And 45 years of independence or freedom. It's a celebration of pride. It's a celebration of how you view yourself as a Vanuatu citizen, as a student, as a father, as a mother, as a person with special needs. You are special on the eve of our celebration. 45 years, and our friends who are with us today online, those that are watching from home, and the children who would be the future of Vanuatu. It is a celebration of our existence. Now, Vanuatu at 45 years is a testament of its strength. And if you view yourself, if you take stock of yourself as an Vanuatu citizen, you will find that strength in you and how you would contribute to development. Development in your community, development in your family, development in your country, regionally and globally. Therefore, you count yourself as a very, very, very important and crucial resource for this country that is moving beyond 45 years. If the celebration of 45 years is a celebration of identity, viewing ourselves as students, you yourself, you are the project beyond 45 years. I have been the project for the last how many years of my life. I am an alumni of USP. I studied here. And for those that are here today, when I came into this auditorium, I asked, where is U8? And our moderator told me U8 is in the USP archives. So what is your journey and my journey as an Vanuatu, as a student looking beyond 45 years? We have heard about the culture, the struggles within the system, within the machinery, within our communities, within the region. But what do you do? What do I do as a person, as a citizen of Vanuatu in 45 years and beyond? I guess I would start with posing this question. Are you the project beyond 45 years? Are you going to be inclusive? Are you going to be adaptive to the local context? Or are you going to be somebody that is going to go with the crowd? At the beginning, at the commencement of our panel discussions, there was something that was shared by the first speaker. It's all about nation building. Are you going to be participating in nation building, or are you just going to be a person that will watch how things go with the flow? Are you willing to become the change agent? Yes or no? That is a question for you as students and future leaders in Vanuatu, in whatever sector that you will find yourself in the private sector, in the non-government organizations, civil society, or in government. Employment opportunities are there. But are you going to be a nation builder? That question, I'm posing it to you beyond 45 and at 45. What is your thinking? What is your mindset? What is your thinking this time? What are you thinking about now? Thinking about your country beyond 45 years. The challenges, the first panelist has already shared with us challenges. Second panelist, challenges, and then the culture and the peace that brings everyone together. What is it that you have to contribute beyond 45 years? And what is it that I have to contribute beyond 45 years? Are we going to be complacent? Or are we going to add value? And for this is very, very important. As a citizen of Vanuatu, we have our National Sustainable Development Plan in Vanuatu. And it's got 5 years to go. It's called the People's Plan. And 2025 to 2030, we have 5 years from this year. Now, in that plan, it has all the targets that the nation as Vanuatu has to achieve. Can we find ourselves in there and contribute? So at this juncture, I would like to acknowledge all the achievements of past governments, present governments, the leaders of Vanuatu, past, present, and future, towards the achievement of Vanuatu. But finding our balance in moving the country forward, our nation building, you and I have something. What is it? As students, I'm challenging you. You are the project beyond 45 years. And at 50, that's the golden jubilee of Vanuatu. What are we going to celebrate? Are we going to celebrate complaining? I speak my mind at these forums. And for that today, are we going to celebrate complaining? Or are we going to contribute positively? Are we going to go with the flow? Complaining is a syndrome of something that you don't want to contribute towards development. But that is a negative syndrome. Beyond 45 years, are you the project? Students, are you the project beyond 45 years? Am I the project beyond 45 years? This is something that we need to think about. Rethink our strategy to development. Rethink our strategy to nation building. Can we do it better? The challenges that are out there versus current development priorities. I would stop here. I would end by saying that let's count ourselves accountable to our nation, accountable to our peoples, the resources that they have contributed to make us who we are today, shape us who we are today. This is the future. It is in you and it is in me. And together we can make the change. Thank you.
Thank you. I suppose the next question is, how far are our policies dictated to by external forces, and do we need to rethink policies for Vanuatu's development? Charles.
Thank you. One question where Bayumi Savetalam say, Yumi want them say hemi homegrown. Yumi drive him. Yumi go while Yumi take him all advices where he come or Yumi cast him all information or survey where he come lol now for the place. But hemi depend who too hemi stop look government too. And hemi want something where plantel or something else. Good for ting hemi come time government he come one neck is government back again. Place by me looking say cat shift back again. Only no more focus lo hemia. Only call all now for one back and so maybe by me Savedalem said all good flat ting I stop, but also hemi also important to blow you me come in blow whoever way hemi come in blow taking place blow make him work. You know start them new one blow you or you know start blow compete with them narovala. Maybe you me look say one them hemi make him where hemi straight blow hemi go. You may go ahead with them, hemi way no got to improve him, maybe hemi go, but you may say that majority lol something ya, lol thing ya, all policies ya, call up everyone all uniform, or you may say mark no more, but it's just where time you may action them, where time only carried out, and also whereby only take them out. But you may talk about Vanuatu, you may talk about Torres, Kasem, and Nigeria. You may not talk about Vilaya no more with earthquake, Mispolem. You may not talk about Santoya no more. And at 45, by you mommy where you need to stop the place here, you've allowed student, but you fly save answer him too, say 45 year. Some place no more is that benefit law all services here. Some place inogat from one them. I think all man place there will start benefit there from all kata no more all school. You make him so kata no more stop receiving all services here, all all services here. Or hemi from say, o kata full up no more now. You make him say only dominate them. That you make him no time blow vote. You make him in blow all kata come in blow number of you me pa again. All nav la place. But hemi all symbol something whereby you me too. Also, one talk where one member of the panel me mention him could flop time blow reflect hemi lo all kind time event or semester. You may come blow think about birth, blow republic blow you me and also independence blow you me, purpose play him, and also save who are you mommy. Also former director general of Prime Minister Service hemi been emphasized him. Save who are you, who are me, and then lo place now by save help him you blow you. You look what you can do for you, Vanuatu play you. So, come back to question play you, moderator, on the policies and all now flawania. Pa you miss talem say hemi tu hemi want something where hemi some walk, some is slow, and some ikat all navla excuse plo make him say by it delay him or hemi make him change or pa hemi no more walk. I'll stop here.
Thank you. Commissioner, is there a need to rethink the way we roll out development and find a more equitable way to ensure that everyone is catered for?
Thank you, moderator. Thank you, Law question. I think Yumi story plante law full up something this afternoon, but maybe rethinking the model, law development blow Yumi hemi one narrative naya where Yumi should look lem Yumi 45 now also Yumi talem time where Yumi just can independence Yumi also more beginning where Yumi dependent Yumi crawl it. And then now we are 45 also Yumi start enter into law bit of maturity. But I think previous panelists solid talem hemi one chani blow reflection now. And time Yumi been karam independence blow Yumi. It got full up something where Yumi adopt them straight away. Also more institutions blow Yumi. Some will get all languages where Yumi stop continue blow use yet. Emi at that time hemi easier blow only transition law and time blow adopt them all getaya. Some will hemi combination. But right now law 45. Yumi stop the look back. How na some policies where Yumi been run with them, walk about with them, kasemnaya hemi walk on no cat. Some hemi need lo Yumi change them. Some need lo Yumi look back again. Maybe policy hemi could no more. Maybe execution, implementation blehem ino come out full one. So conversation ya ba hemi ino blo mi fala no more hemi blo Yumi everyone. And you fala where you sit down inside or get the students. Hemi nara face blo cheni blo Yumi blo look development model blo Yumi. Hemi where Yumi want Yumi write them. From say Yumi want them all values. Might Yumi not been look sawe hemi before. And time Yumi stablo national level or regional level where you all get the government officials solid trying to impact them all policies lo regional level or international level. Hemi isi blo samlo something hemi set lo topia after he come down blo implement lo national level. And sometimes you may look finish over lo 45 years, he got full of gaps. Because he may not work out. He got too much gap from say naramani set them after you may try to implement them. And you may got capacity blow you may maybe not enough, resource blow you may not enough. So time you may been taking conversation, lo write them on development plan blow you may also the people's plan. You may take them all Vanuatu, lo write them plan ya. But still you may still got gap inside them. Also Oma director of statistics, hemi bindalem nara panelists blow you may. Ibindalem all data hemi no complete lah hemi. Got full of work yet blow make him. But think blow rewrite them next phase blow development model blow you may hemi should be one conversation where you me everyone you me should look them and in no got one something hemi wrong blow talk about most of them story and naya. Pa you me talem all semia hemi maybe hemi time blow you me look blow all get issues after lo 45 year full up something where you me say hemia you me come with them go in no work. Hemia ibin work good. Hemia I come stop halfway. But you may take him all semia say you follow all young fella, all students blow Vanuatu where you follow school, or different institutions blow you me, blow Vanuatu, blow Fiji, blow New Zealand, blow Australia. You follow not to, you follow stop enter place where you follow contribute, blow shaping, blow development model or policies blow you me going forward. And me when they tell him all semia you follow hadn't finished about recent win blow in no blow Vanuatu, blow whole world. After where ICJ, International Court of Justice, and deliver advisory opinion blehem. If like one is our story and that to Jenny, I may blow all young fellow students, like USP. I may not blow all government officials. I may start with them all students, all young fellow. I may demonstrate them power, blow all young fellow, blow shape them. Something will come naya, I may one worldwide global win. Time where advisory opinion may come out, law number 23, Every country is celebrate. Everyone only celebrate him. But you may celebrate him. From hemi power blow all young fella. Blow all save. Come up with them thinking where hemi contribute lo one him decision hemi outcome lem today. So Mr. Talem also from hemi one challenge blow you me all young fella. You where you stop also one student, you where you one government official, you me everyone. It time blow you me thinking. May it time blow you me walk, it time blow you me cut story and blow you me look. Maybe me time blow you me rewrite them or start them conversation but look lo development model blow you me. You me haram previous panelists me challenge them you me plande. Lo value where you me hold him, blow you me as a person, a country blow you me as a nation and where blessed you me fit inside them. Story ane hemi no blow 1 month. Story ane hemi blow yumi together. Yumi start them story ane be start blow write them something where hemi straight. Yumi look policy blow decentralization. Lo country blow yumi. The very fact blow one all achievement blow yumi. All student blow yumi. Full blow pass yuvalanaya and more coming in the future. Before conversation blow all something else. Emi stop no more all government officials. Stop back lo home blow yumi. So me tell them thank you too much. La opportunity where this time you miss have cut all panelists through law partnership. You may have previous panelists you talk about partnership. This partnership yeah, me allow him you me bring him conversation yeah. He come straight to the place where you will study lehem from me tell him how to something. You mean him say you me take him heavy say you by contribute to nation building. More you stop lo stage where by you na you is have help lo write them narrative lo development blow you me going forward. Thank you, Thomas Moderator.
Thank you, High Commissioner. It raises a valid point about what the youth of Vanuatu can do when they put their minds to it, as the whole world has seen with the recent outcome at the International Court of Justice. Are there policies that need to change in Vanuatu to allow pathways to strengthen the role of young people in the development of the nation?
Thank you. Now, at 45, we are also celebrating our resilience as a people of Vanuatu. Now, in alignment with what we do in our DRR and DRM space, it is important to acknowledge that we were resilient a long time ago. And in light with the ICJ AO decision or opinion, that has also contributed to amplify how our collaboration can make a change or make the change through our young people. Now, in terms of policy changes towards youth development and sports. Now, this too, the Department of Youth and Sports now is under the Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Youth, Justice and Community Services. This does not mean that youth development is not important to Vanuatu. It is just as important as climate change. It is just as important as finance. It is just as important as media. But in order to amplify the voices of young people, it is also important to look at what the department or the Ministry of Youth, Justice and Community Services has in its strategic plan. Now, we can craft policies to suit students that are coming out now from graduating from universities and colleges, but that is the academic part of it. The other prong of our development is the trades, and that's important. Beyond 45 is to put a strong emphasis on trades. Now, there is also a challenge. There will be a challenge with artificial intelligence. It is going to pose a challenge for Vanuatu and all countries of the world. But are we prepared? Are we prepared? Are we prepared to tackle those challenges? So as a nation, at 45, in light of youth development, we need to prepare our youth population in managing and tackling development aspirations moving forward. Beyond 45 is something that you have to be able to have AI on your side, but not to take over your brain power. Don't use AI as a tool. It's just a tool. But your brain is God-given. So for governments like Vanuatu, we need to develop policies that address trades. If there are gaps now for 2025 to 2030 as is in the NSDP, then we need to devise strategies that will really address trades, which means in the event that AI can do an office assistant work, what is the gap? What is the gap for Vanuatu? If for instance, if it is to do with hiring more plumbers, then we need to train more plumbers. Not everyone will be a doctor. So this is the challenge for us. Let's develop those areas that AI cannot, because AI is a super efficient search engine. But it has no brain like you and I have. So let's develop those policies. If we need to train more plumbers, and the jobs that people don't like to do, and AI cannot do plumbing work, then let's get ourselves in there. Academically, with the aptitude, but also the technical skills are on the side. So for me, that is being innovative beyond 45. So I would like to see policies devised around this area. So there is a balance. I will always come back to the notion of balancing, the balancing act of development and leaving no one behind, and that is inclusive development. Thank you.
Thank you. Benwell, do the numbers show where the gaps are and where Vanuatu needs to be training people for the next 45 years?
Thank you. So they do. There's a lot of numbers flying around. Some of these numbers are translated into policies and strategies. I can think of one now, which is the National Human Resource Development Plan, which is basically aimed to target the areas that the countries might need in future. The question is how do we apply those policies? How effective are we? Do we just tick the box to have the strategy in place and then forget all about it for the next 10 years? We do have the M&E framework that is monitored by DESPAC, and those are some of the tools that are in place in order for us to make those reflections like we mentioned at the beginning. There needs to be a reflection on how far we have come, because there are certain targets that we need to meet, but are we doing it effectively? Those are some of the questions that we need to ask, and if not, why? I can see some of the challenges that we have in terms of accessibility to data, availability. There's all sorts of issues that surround the data that we collect. So those are some of the things that we would like to improve to make sure that people or the public can be able to utilize it and make use of the data. So to answer your question, yes, there are gaps. But again, we need to have the right mechanisms in place to be able to address them. Some of which include the mentality. People tend to be reluctant when it comes to data. They collect it for their own purpose, but not for sharing. So there's a lot of things that we need to address. But maybe like DG mentioned, we need to have those right policies. Maybe that will guide them to ensure that we have those data at our fingertips and maybe making use of them in terms of policies or making researches for students and all that.
Charles, who should be responsible for gathering the correct data and putting it to the right use?
It depends which data you start referring to him.
Let's say data, in this case, for education and employment.
Then, pa yung Savetalem said, their agencies were responsible, and I believe, side for statistics, while they are mandated to collect the data, but when it comes to specific areas or sectors, all dedicated agencies were only responsible, like for example, when you say education, the education people should have their data. They should be collecting their data. And it is very important to for the same for everyone. Huh? Like you asked, he mentioned about moving forward. Having data will also determine what is your next step or where will you go. Huh? You know, sabi kam ko talem implement them no mo hemia where you go sing out lem lo campaign. Because the day you may look plante hemi only megem no mo from only pintalem lo campaign. Data sometime ikat, sometime inogat. But you mean everyone, you've all students, you've like save more. Time you make a data, by save so you may say no. You should go all semia, or you should make me all semia. This didn't work. We do it this way. So different agencies should have their own. I'm not sure whether it's law structure where data officer law one government agencies, but as far as the media is concerned, some of these offices too, filing past information on their work, what they do, you know, really cut too much lol kita offices here. Plante lol time you go ask him, no cyclone, you can't be destroyed. Earthquake, we've moved offices after Inogat. No, Mivlalo Santo Inogat, you must go no more Villa. All kind, all semia hemi also hemi so him say data information, keeping it, find them. People only know you may not take him serious and him and by him take him risk, by him save risk him you may blow you may decide. Maybe you may try make him my work on in no work so see no more can you change him back and go ya. Suppose he walk, okay, I'll leave me stop small. No, now no more walk, I'll leave me change him back and but yes, the importance of data, this is something that suppose it not been happen the last 45 years, you fly we stop here, might buy you fly to end up possibly you also we stop talem. Make him sure you me emphasize lo hemia lol place blow all offices play me lol government agencies. I was just sharing to the team lo one time I say plante lol get filing lol different government agencies, yeah. They only ended up the cleaners are doing that on behalf of law office. You know, mean him say from say you know mokat man blomeke mo binosave but hemi atu hemi question him. Tai go ask him no istablo one box someplace lo place here. Filing you ask him you need one document lo place here. But hemi really want something where he you know really stop data stop keeping it files and every something here. All excuses him still stop yet lo different places blow me. But me sure say having this kind of discussion by helping me blow me come in, blow me looks of all importance because you mean him data blow go forward. But you know say you me go no more because President blow party Italian also because Minister Italian also because Prime Minister Italian also because it's in the 100-day plan. That's why you must make him also. Sorry, him blow you with data qualify me blow you must make him. You hold him tight first time. You make him also with Minister Italian also with Prime Minister Italian also with government everyone them. So and I can have me come back to whether these datas, yeah, all policies within local politicians, the other politicians, or least abuse monogat, and whether only ask him, only looks in no, in all say when me want them, not like you me skip, you me make him see me no you zoom him, you me zoom, one way you me save, one way me meeting thing him. So yeah, them two meetings the data, but me agree with them him. There's room for improvement on that and also valuing the importance of data as we move as a nation.
Moderator, I think by me at law side of data because Lo join them no conversation lo side lo data. And while you miss a talk lo side lo example lo tata lo you lo Ministry of Education. I'm sure they have lots of data. Issue lo you lo tata. Hemi one regional problem finish, one issue where many countries inside the Pacific region only talem se yumi got issue la tada. There's a lot of data inside the country blo yumi. We only stop 112. One ministry holem data blehem. I data custodians, data management, data security, data storage. It all become one issue where me amplified. Lo who is have access la data ya, who is have use and who can store it. But as well as that, let's take the example for Ministry of Education. One of the data that should and it must shape in policy law scholarship awards. Pamita ke molseme hemi hamas graduate no you must stop releasing lo one in paper, lo one institution, lo 1 year. Me no sabe if tataya hemi out. So that me talk about one real example across law institutions where only all students lo imi come out lo tertiary level, lo Fiji, lo New Zealand, lo Australia. Because tataya bahemi should shape him according lo national human resource development plan lo Vanuatu italem se you got enough lahemia, but the gap between now and the next 5 years italem se skills lo plesia, structural engineers for example, veterinary science for example, but you need him. It will drive the demand for scholarship, and then therefore awarding the scholarship bahemi giving priority lo areas where emi important lo priority development plan lo Vanuatu. This is the way we want data hemisave shape him, and for that you miss a struggle across lehem because you need lo one they can data sharing, but also be able to consolidate them data ya make them informed decision. Sorry, moderator, me no sabe if that one hemi that question blow me semak or yes, but me want them take also too that there's it got challenged that there is opportunities bladara. You make a National Sustainable Development Plan blow me bahemi up for review next year. And Mr. Review previous panel italem blow me 5 more years before 2030. And in that respect, every tata hemi count. But you may not talk about tata blow hamas beginning way born lone, but you may start talk about who you got access kolosab lo nearest place blow clean water. From you may lo town, you may tanem pipe. No more, you may garam water. All geta will install all village, lo remote areas, only walk out from water. Tata ya, I mean important blow shape him. Who you got access? Not just to water, but clean water. Water way enough blow use them. Who you got access lo resources? For example, road. Lo make a market, you go lo road. Hemi want something where Mr. Hemi want very big fella need lo yumi lo Vanuatu. Who you got access lo health services, also clinic or health center, and Mr. Nomo lo one village, everyone you walk about the come lehem. If 45 years finish, you Mr. make him me time lo yumi rethinking how you mean yusum tata lo implement them all policies blow yumi. Semakol semol schools blow yumi, rural training centers blow yumi. From every something you may cut across them and me help lo contribute lo development lo Vanuatu. You may take them all rural training centers because all skills straight blow yumi, blow train them all get up blow come carpenter, blow make them all local seme, and Mr. Kotang. And you must go either lo nara side blow island blow school from because resource Mr. blow place or you go lo next island or Port Vila also. So full up data where you Mr. talk about it, hemi should be data where you me everyone to you me should contribute lehem. But right now you me start making me a little bit fragmented. So you me got data silos. You got some areas only got more data, some only holem data blogger. But hemi should be one national drive now after 45 years. Blow you me use some hemia, blow drive him. Development plan blow you me blow how we can remodel that because maybe after challenge blow you me was you me start walk about it. All mama, all auntie, all sister blame me, start walk about it from water a long way, or access and health services blame me, then any time blame me rethinking narrative development blame me. Thank you, moderator.
Thank you. Good data should be able to show who needs water, who needs health services, and also in the case of the audience which we have today, where our young people need to be trained in order to go back to contribute with value to society.
Thank you. The journey at 45 also means that it is not perfect. And along the way, the country of Vanuatu has faced challenges. But it has taught the nation of Vanuatu to stand. So in that, we have realized that in 2025 to 2030, in alignment with our NSDP or the People's Plan, we still have a lot to learn. We still have a lot to collect in terms of data. And that is a commitment for each of the 13 ministries in Vanuatu. What they have collected so far, that is data that they have in their ministries. But how do we find ourselves in 10 years? In 10 years meaning when we have our national census. So that's when the National Bureau of Statistics conducts population census. That is a platform that is already within the machinery where we cross-check our data. So each of the 13 ministries in government has a commitment to collect data. But then the issue is, or the challenge is, that the sharing is not available to everyone because of the legislations that they may have that prohibits data sharing, that perhaps beyond 45. We always celebrate our challenges. Therefore, let's look at what we can do better to share the data that is already there. It's available. Now, when you have MOUs across agencies, that is also a platform to share that information. And how do we turn that information into, say, very constructive policies to drive our development agenda or development aspirations for Vanuatu? Now, in terms of youth, and the age group for youth, as I understand it, is from 12 to 30. Now, having you students in this age group from 18 to 30, there is a lot to be done. And if we can make a change, or how do we effect change? Some of you will graduate at the end of this year, and you will contribute to one sector in Vanuatu. But data is something that it's not perhaps, it's a challenge that we need to address. And if we are not talking to each other now at 45, let's start talking to each other at 46. And not work in silos. I think at the outset of the panel discussion, I want the term partnership to be a resounding terminology. We need to partner. And in light of that partnership, then we can contribute to development. At the moment, it's like from 6 provincial government centers, from north to south. I don't know if we really know our data, know it well, based on our provinces. So this is a challenge for us to work on. So also lo national anthem lo yumi we yumi sta singing all time. Ikat plante walk yet lo yumi meken. Indeed, it is true. We have a lot yet to be achieved, and it's a journey. And perhaps not this time, moving forward, but perhaps in your time. You are the project beyond 45. Thank you.
What's your next journey, Benoit?
I think we touched a little bit on the access side of things, but there's also the utilization side of data. And that's one of the weaknesses that not just Vanuatu, but across across the region. But it also comes to an issue how those data are being packaged. Okay, let me use an example of reports. With the advancement of technologies, those thick reports have become obsolete. It's no longer accessed or usable. So it comes back to many of the roles that the data producers are doing right now. Are they packaging it in a way that is accessible to the users or not? And on the other hand, are the users able to understand what's in the content? So those are some of the challenges that, like I said, data producers need to take on board in order to address them. And everybody nowadays, they have access to a gadget like a smart device. What if you release those data in a form that can be accessible to a mobile phone? So maybe that's something that we'll need to improve in terms of how we communicate the data. Not only that, but how to be able to understand how to use it. Because it can be a double-edged sword. If you don't use it properly, it can, So I think that's some of the areas that we need to improve on. And a lot of countries, the national statistics offices especially, have a big role to play in terms of increasing awareness, increasing data literacy to make sure that whoever is in charge of or in a position to make those decisions, they can use it properly to inform them in their debates, in their decision making. I can give an example in Vanuatu where recently the Vanuatu Bureau of Statistics have engaged the members of parliament in producing constituency profiles and then going through each of the data and making sure that they understand what is the status of the constituency. So those kind of approaches will surely make a difference because, when they make an intervention in parliament, I'm pretty sure they'll target the right area, right conversation and all that. So those kind of approaches we need to amplify in terms of how we communicate data, whether it's through different approaches, but at the same time, you should know who you are targeting so that you can package the data in the correct format and all that.
Thank you. We are at the halfway stage of this conversation this afternoon. In Fiji, we call this Vei Talanoa. You may have heard people talk about Talanoa. Talanoa is the word for story. Vei Talanoa is a mutual storytelling. So it involves not only talking but listening. So we have talked. And now it's time to listen. So I'd like to invite you, members of the audience this afternoon, part of the 800 new Vanuatu students in Fiji who are going to go back to your country and become part of nation building and development. If you have questions this afternoon, we'd like to hear those questions from you so that our esteemed or eminent panelists can respond. I invite questions from the audience. Please just raise your hand and somebody will bring a mic to you. Please feel free to ask in Bislama if you wish, or French, or English, the language of the colonizer. Or in Fijian, if you have become part of this community. Please introduce yourself and then.
Okay, good afternoon everyone. I'm Blomi Dorinda. Me take time to tell thank you lo opportunity to bring him discussion ya him kam lo yumi lo plesia lo student oli save raising all ting blol kata and towards celebration blo Independence Day blo yumi. Make a question, comment. First one, Hemikolo, former Director General.
Yes, Mr. Vese by Mascal.
You've been served for some DG for Internal Affairs for a long time. You've been making some work, and one I remember Hemi decentralization. Blo you may develop a more province play blo make service eco kasem community level blo you me. Plan the work you've been happen through law leadership blo you and me service full of community law provinces blo you me only happy lo one and me stop happen down or where you may bring him all access blo government service eco community. Ting blo make a question blo me short no more. Moving forward, you may not want to recall back, you go one me happen past this. You may not want them to talk about one me face them, but blow, you may improve them, one you may blow address them community or developing one communities, blow you may. Plan them lo me vla when me vla stable student by me vla go back, some only serve inside the government, some only start them all private business flow kata. Plan day, you may have a work block government in enough block accommodate them number of student. Plan day student only go back. You may have a workman block government only stop block capital plan day to la main town Port Villa. But you may need him blow develop them community blow you me. Plan day student only stop. Only wonder why or also one him now blow you may go inside the province. Blow you may develop them province blow me one community blow you me. What's the next project or same you tell them? One now you think say way forward into 50 years, or you celebrate them golden jubilee after 5 years. One now you think so you start them roadmap to decentralization. Yeah, you stop looking. It come one challenge, one copy stop where all young flyer, only go back. Maybe some only think plus several province. Plus have a move them, plus make them some change inside the community. He made me blow you. Come lo Mr. Benuel. Congratulations lo you will post flu lo SPC. Lo side blood data. You may service in the each ministry katol data play also you will talem. Be lo level blow politicians play me. You may service sometimes all politicians only serve in and out. One now, more one ministry survey in and out all different data blood services where you make at all provinces play me. And one area now you lack all services young. All data we have cut. Yet all politicians only come only cut all mandate plol kata, plover overcome or different strategy block kata, apart lo plan block government, blow roll services according to data, blow reach him that particular place where data is when say cut lack lo service lo hem, but politicians come, hem cut on interest plan, blow direct them funding come, direct them development, you call a different place where hem on interest plan. One of how now you miss have address him moving forward and miss have him no question you can believe lovely me address him more higher low level blow politic blame me. Lo usual new president blow maf congratulations lo you miss service media hemi play one people role blow make sure say one information services more one development where government hemi stop cut media hemi play one role blow make sure say people are informed about one is stuff happen lo national equal level blow community. So thank you lo media blow Vanuatu blow continue informing community lo one stop happen lo country blow me. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll give you the responses in the order in which you have asked the questions. So we'll go first to the former Director General.
In terms of next steps on decentralization, a policy has been approved and it's now in progress, or it's work in progress, but it's really the implementation. And implementation meaning subnational governments or provincial government councils, of which the Public Service Commission is really adamant that we roll out decentralization to the fullest, meaning deconcentration, meaning you move staff with the resources, meaning just not the one body in a provincial government council, but you move also its funds to enable implementation at the provincial level. Now, blow make and sell students by utilize survey, find them ufala inside law, part of nation building inside law, provincial government council. Iminim say, by you must look strong, of which I would at this stage emphasize him. He must get strong leadership inside law, provincial government council, implement them all policies, decentralization, where one provincial government council can't finish. Now I may have one decentralization, have me one work whereby it not happen 50 years. It will happen even if 100 and beyond 100. Hemi one process here. But hemi one, you be continuously looking improvement. As we speak, government of Vanuatu hemi stop roll them out. Or stop make them, if possible, stop follow news, Sanma hemi kamol sem. Luganville by already kamol sem one economic hub. Blow Northern, blow Vanuatu. Way minim say, services are only stop go out, only stop decentralized. But one em hemi come also one challenge is the fiscal part of it. Money hemi no go with them yet, or it go with them but hemi slow, which poses to the country one plant them more work yet, you make it happen. But that does not mean that by time where you graduate, you want them to join in provincial government. You send them application, you go. But me encourage them, you meet too, lo side law. Time where you graduate with them one qualification. But in terms of experience, you know that yet. Or somewhere you come in service, or you can't finish, or you go back, lo work lo kata. But me urge them, you falab lo you fly. Go in or some all volunteers. You learn them work and then you survey. Come lo cut one placement inside the system. So it's a system where by you must learn them, but hemi system where hemi yumi. But again, by me must stop stress them law this time. Say policy hemi happen finish. Now hemi implementation. But how you make them? Government as we speak, by me tell them say hemi work in progress. By continue to progress into the future. Implementing it now hemi one the most difficult or challenging part plan. But to say at 45, you make them plan the work, it true. Plan the work, it happen. And the declaration of the economic hub, Los Santos, that is already one big achievement. Therefore, kami come back lo tok lo mi when we stop Yusum tetelo afternoon. Mimi project, you do your project. Find your space in the development of our country and contribute where you can. And allow more challenges to be stepping stone for us. You go moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Dorinda, lo question. Pamitale molsem se kat lo role blo yumi lo mino tok lo biha blo kada be by mention em lo role blo yumi lo statistics office only guided by one act to hemikim all kita blo collect certain statistics no more. You know everyone. So yes, only control blo collect them data by ikat one limitation blame. Nara limitation hemi timeliness blo collect them. So teacher me mention them census me collect them every 10 years. And then all household surveys every other 5 years. So timing hemi one or something from no more say all exercise, you know, cheap exercise. You talk about how many millions so you must spend them. Now that being said, Yes, me agree sa tami kam lo set lo decision making lo how when our project should take place and all that. Sometimes you me mention one talk first time sa data sabi ka man double it short lo ting say you sabi misusum lo justify one something we in lo sudum pepes bli mo. So it may happen. But you may not blame him mulketa. But the thing is, supposedly you may elect a mulketa call of power. Or you feel obliged say you need to look at when something established at below and below day, impact or law intervention only make maybe small no more. Which is why you need to look at all monitoring mechanisms in place. That's why you make at money. Loli monitoring yes, intervention blow block money call area impact le mena. And imagine so say you know got all monitoring in place. How na be misave se project we must implement maybe sutum purpose, sutum needs blow people we stop here. So there are some long challenges we need blow you need to understand them. And point where Mr. Trump talem lo place is suppose you say some data or information by me inform decision blow kita me pretty sure say by me katon good for la service delivery by making me level of development or progress me by me go advance more between one and we stop witnessing.
Thank you. Charles, I think the question is on the role of the media to ensure that Vanuatu is informed.
Yeah, thank you. Me take him say me one compliment no more, but let me use that to add on, to emphasize on your role as individual as well. Huh? Back then, before Facebook, me vlalo newsroom no more journalist. Time Facebook ikam, heme ikam, you me everyone. Torres kasemanaytrum, you me journalist. And hemi want something where he come back and blow Adam talk blow Madam former Director General of Prime Minister's Office say you being that project there, you put hat there too, or say one journalist too. Time you start making work for you. In democracy, you me to vote now, you me to all boss blow all mania will start all plaque track. Yeah. And then one talk will stop using all time say media hemi the fourth pillar of democracy. One chair you got 4 legs. 3 flat chair you got parliament, legislature, judicial where hemi, and then you may got executive. Number 4 chair now you may do here now media. And the last 45 years suppose you may look. Freedom plo media yeah, you know really too much lo yumi lo Vanuatu from culture plo yumi. Me one journalist look at me talem no kutheme ya by me guy hand. In fact some lo me follow lo newsroom yumi bin face him finish. You've let them story blow some you've let save some. He make him say him come in blow question him independent and freedom blow media ya back home with them culture blow yumi. Relationships where you make up for one small community you may run you miss you me. And then him you make him too say you too you fight blow talk too. But me no talk to you from say you media. Look at me talk now. Boss blow me sakamot me love is blow me. You stop contribute blow cut them leg blow number 4 chair number 4 leg blow chair stop go shorter than all Navala one. And place na hemi very important blow. You me everyone you me think about. While media hemi stop blow educate, inform. The see media hemi stop to blow make him sure say there's transparency. All work play you hemi one public office. Work play you hemi must be transparent. Torres kasemanaytrum mulmanya will you vote we Vanuatu iplol kata oli save. And oli save for one M2 you decide lo butum kolta lo site ya be no lo site ya. Time say you be tell him said because social media have me come in today, have me make him say you me to together, you me call him a citizen journalist. Place to me want something whereby you need to consider him. Loting things say how can me try them question challenge where you come here. You and me to help lo make him. First time me fly on newsroom no more, but me fly must go look out them story, make him interviews, research, check the facts. During that stop here and the rest only stop here. After, you may just put them out. You wait no more. 12 o'clock news now, you on them radio. You wait 7 o'clock TV now, you just on them TV, blow you watch them or you survey. They take any time. You follow them no more place. And we also give him challenge back in the newsroom. In Vanuatu, so we come to talk about media in Vanuatu, he got 2 obvious, well-structured newsroom no more. No Vanuatu, we have a newsroom, lo VBTC, we have newsroom, lo Daily Post. Have me meaning say, he got all process how, or he process them, or put them good package them good information ya before he come to you. All navlawan ya. He on now ya, based up ko yan. And hemi want something where, pa you be savetalem say, while you meet take him also where hemi one challenge, pa you meet take him come lo context, blimi lo Vanuatu, hemi also one opportunity. Only right now, you can stop him. Only tell him say now yeah, you cut fake, but you look out, huh? But hemi also small something yeah, you may accept him, hemi will help him, you may because yes, in some point you may go, you may go abuse him, you may go over, you stuck a one comment, you forget man say one man bless is that comment or one man way stop comment back again. So while media hemi stop in, you may make him sure say all work here, me go ahead, and also the reporting back. Let them media hemi survey, media hemi tell them out, blow by help him you, blow you think back and ano. Be manyana will tell them still similar so no, but me no survey vote them back and from one them democracy, you na you boss. Therefore, media na by hemi survey stop, blow help him you mommy, blow you me to survey, make him up mind blow you me. Now last role blow media too, hemi blow make him sure say you me creating one space here. Blow you also one man place, one citizen too. You got Chinese blow give him think blue. This Press Klap, me one platform blow media where media he me put him out. Blow you mommy to serve give him concern blow you me too. Make use lo him. Social media ikat make use lo him. And then now one now where you me stop coming blow emphasize lem plantain na him blow me flesh try blow push blow emphasize lo participation. Last for provincial election you me just cut. Shefa ting na yan, minosabi soli commit finish soli for me one council or no, but 4 turnout participation too, me one issue. Lay you me back home. And me also want them train them also me say maybe go forward, maybe all kita you need plus have how all structures or how government believe me me work. You right please stop where you finish well. Who are you? You know, blow you wait no more. Lo time lo campaign na ano me heme. Then place by me serve help. The other thing when me like him blow mention him blow train him no more say passion. Lo Vanuatu media he been got one time where you may been got prime minister I think for 6 months where me not really elected in the right way. And mind you, lo that time media was not the only time December 2. The winter supposed to be right. Number 2, December 2010. Then Prime Minister was traveling overseas for official duty, official work. His officers didn't inform the Speaker. Following standing order, you missed 3 consecutive sittings. Chair vacant. There was a motion that time, a new Prime Minister. Former Prime Minister had been called some Prime Minister, had been arrived also one normal member of the Parliament at the Parafield International Airport. And that time, only close him dolo media. Radio Vanuatu didn't broadcast that session where only debate him that motion and vote him one new Prime Minister. And lo number 2 December lo every year, you mean your family blue media lo Vanuatu, you stop take him also one time where me 1 2 tak time blue media, and you may been one them say, hey, remember it no more happen. You got planted one of the story, but also you may move on, you may come lo 2016, supposed to be right. That's when you may come in block at Right to Information Act where you call a parliament. And today you make a Right to Information Unit under law Prime Minister's Office. And Right to Information Act here me come no more block complement and one them well bubu you me all forefathers so liputum finish lo mama law. You me to cut right plus have or cut all information because Vanuatu ya me blue you me too. And we were one of the first in the civic where you me cut this law Right to Information. Down the road recently, you heard it. Council of Ministers, Parliament has made an amendment to that act to say that now all Council of Ministers decisions are not for the public to know. They've made the changes recently. And we want challenge Lomivla Lomedia, Yumi Family Lomedia, and other Olkata for accountability and transparency back home, Yumi Pushum Hemia back again. And be very important, Yumi must have for one them now something happen, and also time only high time only sarim do minim say Yumi too executive here where hemi one lol leg plot share ya. Hemi stop decide your decision blame now, but Yumi too Yumi cut impact le, but Yumi too no Yumi too cause all consequences for decision only make them. And now they're saying no, even ombudsman has no right to that Council of Ministers, any Council of Ministers decision. To those of you who are in the working industry, now you've like I'm studying, you've like remember time call me go Los Santo, after the call me got one announcement blow decision that their council ministry blow fisheries have come in here from you may say after the meeting lo molecular, even got one look at the thing and come on board. And now you me all examples blow or something or similar. So these are something where you may want them. And there's also that puts the question of suppose you tell them say hemi no allow, then already you stop defeating purpose blow a right to information act to. So again back to you me everyone back and sorry moderator, but yeah, because we're in 2025 and all of you and you may everyone you may exposed to social media and we have the right to say what we need to know, or you may have it all about help the media, you may continue blow do it the way where you may want them lo ting as a nation building lo all every media platform where you may assume especially lo social media when I am commonly me back home. Thank you.
Hi, Commissioner, would you like to add to that? Okay, thank you. We have another question.
Okay, good afternoon, Bagan Limi everyone. Kustem Limi short numu, I'm in line with them ablo Sista Torinta. Okay, so me listen with them interest mo garmatuan tok we kamat lo formati Limi emit alem preparing youth population lo Vanuatu. Okay, so mi sabe say me one prot statement preparing youth population lo Vanuatu. Okay, so lo national sustainable development plan lo you mean you been got some plan when been act effectively from me been start blow college unis me are say got some plan when been act effectively person lo me no look some muslim say been act okay so emi ko all some all plan act effectively blow all youths not just in town no pero kita will establish rural areas remote areas where only no got training or support well in team, and yes, where have access them, contribute to the economy or national, yes, lo nation building me. I can lo NSTB lo next 3 years, so me ask one question mo. I got some plan or strategy where me start in place finish lo. So I accept them the next 3 years, all marine biologists, all environmental scientists, the next 3 years, or you know, sorry. Thank you.
Sorry, moderator, if I may ask, you have 2 questions. One, you just ask him, and number 2, first one, you ask him about plan blow.
Plan blow, prepare more youth, so some remote areas, yes, supports training.
I think by me answer question lo plan lo youth. Now inside lo Vanuatu, you got National Youth Authority. Now every youth start lo noticasem south by province, only register lo National Youth Authority, and only come underneath lo 1 area council. Suppose way you may want them survey information, yeah. It's part of data where you may start talk about, yeah. But you may find them with them department law, youth most spot underneath lo Ministry of Justice. Now youth have me make them plan to work. And today also where you've like start talk, let me amplify them voice play you fella. And to ask the question about one them now youth only make them plan to work, but full of time, you may start look lo social media. Youth by start tell them say, me no include, only no include to me. You know, that's why me use talk here say you an important project here. Don't discount yourself. Talk plo you me only strong to mas ya. Only talk am spirit ya. You tell them say you no include. No could pay call them. But you may want them be inclusive. So there are plans inside law, Ministry of Law, Youth, Justice, more Community Services, where we relate specifically law work, law youth. Now, National Youth Authority, we got every information or data where we relate law youth development. And youth, pos you look good, lo Vanuatu, sports side play we can pick one. Now, in terms of youth, where you may want them, sing out them, you may also from age 12 to 30, me one challenge. But me no want them, you may start look, you may also think Block Council of Ministers flow move from youth to go inside law, Ministry of Law, Justice. Ino minim say emphasis ya, ino stop lo youth. Youth hem still future. Block country lo yumi lo Vanuatu. And cattle development partner support, we stop inside law, Ministry of Law, Youth, Justice and Community Services, lo support them youth services or youth activities. He cut one specific department where we responsible law, youth, more sports. And that is government commitment towards supporting youth. Lo you mean inside the country. So by me stop lo place here. Naravala question now me about NSDP, yeah? So we ask him, High Commissioner, you can respond to that and well.
Thank you. Thank you, Lo. Question, I think it's about NSTV plus also, like you mentioned in marine and job opportunities. Huh? Okay. For the education. Thank you. By me, before me answer the question, Lo, last week, me fala bin sit down lo one ministerial Pacific Islands Forum Women Leaders Ministerial Meeting. And in one segment, lo meeting, me fala bin only been asked lo all youth, lo USP, FNU, only come inside lo contribute or listen first time lo antala nolsem, lo kita give him some concern lo kita. Straight after the presentation, one young fella lo USB, emi talem se, me got two question number one le me. Tami mi finish lo USB, hemi blo Fiji. Mi finish lo USB, ba mi iwalay talem se ba mi falay kona mi falay apply. After requirement lo apply, say mi 3 to 5 years experience. 3 to 5 years ya mi start lo university na mi start study. Where place na criteria blo iwala blo change blo accept them. Mi fala also mo young fala lo go inside the workforce. Heme one very powerful question from me true no matter you stop Kiribati, Fiji or Vanuatu. Some lo you like been asked finish last time with them audience lo Prime Minister. But lo answer you, I think you miss a story and lo start lo 45 years you may come. There is opportunity also every year you may get graduate. Where is also institution is general. So Vanuatu. Suppose me right from September last year, you may got one graduation ceremony, lo USP, you may got FNU, me attend them ceremony, lo Plesia down lo Waterfront, lo Vanuatu campus, lo May, number 2 this year, and then lo National University. You count them and total them population, yeah, and big fala number, and a whole lot more, also some lo by finish this year. Some finish lo June. And so there exists one big fala issue, blow you meet time law, lookout space. lo ting say, everyone was a study on government scholarship or regional scholarship. It thinks say by yumi everyone you go back lo government. And the truth and the reality is you know got space for everyone. So time former Director General he misa talk about decentralization. You misa talk about the rethinking. Lo development lo yumi. Emi all something o semena you mista putumba. Why all marine biologists lo yumi by stop no molo villa? Why can't they be marine biologists in Los Santo? Istablo Tafea, Istablo Penama, Istablo Malamba. Emi all development narratives of semna imi trimblo pusum. Alo ting tu say you Mr. Trimblo and hemi want something where me lo work blo me even though me lo regional and bilateral me ting blante blo how na you misa we ketem yufala. All student lo USP, all student lo FNU work ready. Some lo yufala stuff finish lo in service. You come here, you go back, you got one place finished inside lo workplace lo you blow you enda. But for those of you who come straight from schools, high schools, come lo blessia 3 to 4 years and now you're ready to enter the workforce, it might be a wait. Full up lo get away, li finish lo 2024, lista waited. Oli ko apply from internship lo VPAM, oli sabiet lo list for 5-6 months. That's the reality. Some lo wala harim story. So then when I'm not something where you miss out doing. So me also lo sad lo mi fala high commission and looking at different opportunities which we will explore together with the UFALA, explore them road, get them yumi work ready. But it also means that you have to take a mental shift. You used to make one program, yeah. So Mr. Challenge him UFALA, particularly for why we, together with the partnership law balance of power, thank you very much, bring this press club here. Have you start challenging mental shift yumi here. And so then it requires one, me been mentioned, you need to start maybe looking at how we can be involved in other activities other than education, formal education where you start pursuing. It might be skills, trade, entrepreneur courses, all kinds of things. Digitalization, business na hemi kamandap. But yumi, bamitalem hemi, lo Vanuatu, all students, you may not take them up challenge up, look at them different storyan. We are not going after the opportunities. And this one, hemi blow challenge blow, you may everyone look and explore. Where can I get more? Pacific Islands Forum, we got one they call the e-commerce strategy, which has been released, only make them all workshop. So this is some little opportunities where you must look at them. FNU hemi make them all very short courses. So these are some of the things that we have to get you work ready. But you have to want to be work ready. And then you must have a look at the opportunities also. Back to your question, I think marine biologists, every something me start talk about today, we're talking about exploring different shifts. If we have done it the same way for 45 years, maybe it's time to rethink how we deliver the scholarships. Me take one example. If we were all central agencies, now you make one national scholarship board, no more hemi decision. What if we had another level of agency that says, we looked across the government machinery and here are the gaps. These are the priorities. All scholarship law 2026, 27, we'll work on the priorities, come down the national scholarship board, and that's how we will be looking across. Maybe all provinces need more of this. So then you may need to start look different pathways for how you may deliver more scholarship. These are some of the things that the conversation you must be open opportunities also. Thank you to Mas Moderator.
Thank you. That's a good place to leave this discussion. I hope it's been an opportunity for you to think about what needs to be done for Vanuatu going forward. And it's a beginning of conversations that you can have immediately after this. Because once we go off air, you'll be able to speak to the panelists and speak to each other about not only Vanuatu the last 45 years, but Vanuatu going forward for the next 45. We thank the balance of power for the opportunity to have this conversation today. We thank the High Commission of the Republic of Vanuatu, Media Association of Vanuatu, and the Press Klap, and let me not forget anyone, the Vanuatu Broadcasting and Television Corporation. Thank you all for joining us, those of you who are online and those of you who are here in Suva. Thank you, Tomas.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.